Now, your forecast first, sponsored by ESL Federal Credit Union.
Not quite done with the rain. We've got downpours on the west side of Rochester, downpours on the north side of Rochester. It will be over downtown here pretty soon. We're going to time this all out in your updated forecast next.
From the team you can trust, this is breaking news from News 8.
That was an actual cold-blooded murder.
The family of an unarmed black man who died while in police custody is calling for justice tonight, and the case is sparking protests right now at the Public Safety Building in Rochester. Good evening, everyone. Daniel Prude died in police custody in March, but the public is just learning about it now.
Daniel Prude's family talked about it for the first time today, saying he was in the middle of a mental health crisis when police encountered him on March 23rd. Prude was handcuffed, naked, and unarmed in near freezing temperatures over on Jefferson Ave in Rochester. We put together a timeline of this incident and a warning before we get going on it. The body camera footage used, the body camera footage we're about to show you, is disturbing. 3:16 and 8 seconds a.m. police arrive and tell Prude to get on the ground.
Get on the ground.
3:17, 10 seconds a.m. officer gets on the radio and asks, "Can I get the rig to Katie and Jeff?" 3:17:30, officer tells other officer Prude told a tow truck driver he had coronavirus.
He's telling the tow truck driver he had coronavirus.
3:19:20, officer put what appears to be a spit mask over Prude's head. 3:20:20, officer tells Prude to stop spitting.
Spitting, man.
3:20:30, officer tells Prude, "You're going to sit," then tells fellow officers, "I got it. I'm already in it." I believe he's talking about having fluids already on him. Officer puts Prude's head on the ground, holds it there, telling him to calm down. Prude makes gurgling sounds at this point. 3:21:20, officer asks, "Can you get the gurney out, please?"
You guys get the gurney out for us, please.
3:21:35, officer tells Prude to stop spitting. From here, Prude isn't talking. I can only make out soft whimpering. 3:22:20, Prude goes quiet. 3:22:34, officer asks Prude, "You good, man?"
You good, man?
3:22:45, Prude appears to throw up. Officer asks, "You puking, man?" Then says to others, "He's puking, straight water." I can't hear any sound coming from Prude after that. 3:23:25, officer asks, "Is he still moving his arm?"
He's still moving his arm.
3:23:30, officer says, "It doesn't even look like he has chest compressions." Prude is rolled over on his side.
Roll him over on his side.
3:24:20, someone asks, "Does he have a pulse?" And someone responds saying no. EMT says, "Start CPR."
Start CPR.
3:25:35, EMT tells officers PCP can cause what we call excited delirium. I guarantee you that's why he coded. It's not your guy's fault. You have to keep yourselves safe.
You gotta keep yourself safe.
Now, the medical examiner determined the manner of death was homicide, noting cause of death, complications of asphyxia in the setting of physical restraint, excited delirium, and acute PCP intoxication. Prude died 7 days after that night, and the autopsy report was produced on March 30th. We learned about all of this day, and protests formed shortly after the announcement in downtown Rochester. They continue now. Christian Garzone live outside the Public Safety Building with the very latest. Christian.
Well, Adam, we moved from the Public Safety Building just a little bit. Pepper spray was deployed about 3 times there as protesters tried to knock down the barricades about 4 times. As I said, we have moved. Ashley Gant, who was in custody earlier and is now out, is leading a group of protesters down Exchange Street. It's a straight shot so far. We're not entirely sure where they're headed. It's about 70 strong and seems to be growing. A state police officer did push down a protester at one point and caused quite a bit of commotion. We asked around about that, not sure yet why that happened. That was earlier this afternoon. There are law enforcement officers surrounding the area, which was shut down to traffic anyways. It is shut down to traffic, excuse me, from Court Street down to Plymouth and now extending that way. A sizable presence for sure from state, county, and city. Police look ready to respond should this escalate any further. Now we're hearing loud cries up and down, no justice, no peace, and the name of Daniel Prude said over and over and over again. Quite a few here, likely ready for the long haul tonight. And we'll be bringing it to you at 11. That's when I'll see you again. Adam and Maureen, back to you.
All right, Christian, thank you. We have been live streaming video from the protests throughout the day. We'll continue to do so whenever we're able. You can follow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter for continuing coverage.
It was family members and activists who released the disturbing body camera and other footage today, which they obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request. Kayla Green talked to some of Mr. Prude's family today, and they are understandably in a lot of pain tonight. Kayla, what did they have to say?
Maureen, family members were emotional and passionate when talking about what happened to Daniel Prude. Earlier today, Prude's brother says he called police because he was worried about his brother's mental health, and he never expected it to take the turn that it did. I want to again warn viewers that the video you're about to see is difficult to watch.
I placed a phone call for my brother to get help, not for my brother to get lynched.
Joe Prude says his brother Daniel was killed by police in March. He says he called police because he believed Daniel was on the verge of a breakdown. This is body camera footage the family received from the city after filing a Freedom of Information request. Joe says Daniel was lying down, naked, handcuffed, and unarmed when officers killed him. Joe was passionate earlier when recalling the incident.
When I tell this particular officer that comes to my door, my brother ain't a threat to nobody but him damn self. Don't kill my damn brother. And not even 15 minutes later, they come back talking about my brother's dead. Now, how am I supposed to feel?
He says one officer pushed his knee into Daniel's back while another pushed his head into the ground. Black Lives Matter leader Stanley Martin says officers put a bag over Daniel's head and taunted him. She says less than 10 minutes after officers handcuffed him, Daniel was brain dead. He was taken to the hospital and put on life support and later died.
We are disgusted that Mayor Lovely Warren and Chief Laron Singletary have made no effort to hold Daniel Prude's murderers accountable. In fact, Daniel Prude's killers are still on active duty today.
Activists are calling for the firing and the charging of the officers involved, including those who were bystanders to the incident. They're also calling to defund the RPD and pass a law that would prevent officers from responding to calls related to mental health. Live in Rochester, Kayla Green, News 8.
All right, Kayla, thank you. Both the mayor and the police chief are denying any allegations of cover-up in Daniel Prude's case, but activists are angry that his death took so long to come to light. Our team coverage continuing now with Rebecca Fath, live in Rochester. Rebecca?
Well, Maureen, I just now spoke with a protester who tells me that they are in fact marching toward Jefferson Avenue where that incident took place. And before they left from where we're standing, we heard people screaming, "Come out here, Lovely Warren," through megaphones, asking the mayor to come and speak with them. And we did hear from the mayor and the police chief earlier today inside the public safety building. Here's what they had to say.
It's a disturbing video, and you know, I think that for me, I can definitely sympathize and empathize with the family, and I would be very upset about the video.
Mayor Lovely Warren says she's very disturbed by what happened, but Police Chief Laron Singletary wouldn't comment on his officers' actions with Daniel Prude back in March.
Can't get into specifics with regard to that. Obviously, there's still an ongoing investigation. There is the internal and criminal, as well as I understand there's a possible lawsuit regarding this case as well.
The burning question for the mayor and police chief: Daniel Prude died in March, so why is this coming to light now? Police Chief Laron Singletary says the incident wasn't kept secret. It was sent to the Attorney General.
I know that there's rhetoric that is out there that this is a cover-up. This is not a cover-up. Let me be clear when I say that.
New York State Attorney Letitia James responded to this case today, saying, quote, "The death of Daniel Prude was a tragedy, and I extend my deepest condolences to his family. I share the community's concerns about ensuring a fair and independent investigation into his death and support their right to protest." Mayor Lovely Warren says she and the police chief want to make sure the investigation is unbiased.
Unfortunately, it has taken some time. This is not something that's in our wheelhouse, in our control at this moment in time. And had it been, then for me, this would be something that we would have talked about months ago.
And Adam and Maureen, we continue to hear from protesters here right in front of the public safety building telling us that they're angry because those officers that were there the night it happened have not been suspended yet. For now, we are live downtown. Rebecca Fath, News 8.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. One more note about the State Attorney General's investigation. That is required by law whenever law enforcement is involved in a civilian death.
Now, we showed the body camera footage of the police encounter to a former Rochester police chief and now an expert on law enforcement to help break down what happened in this video. Jack Watson joining us now in the studio with more on that expert analysis. Jack.
Adam, Dr. Cedric Alexander is the former deputy mayor of Rochester and was also briefly the chief of police. I showed Dr. Alexander the video you're going to see right now. Again, a warning that this may be disturbing to some of our viewers. I asked him about what went on in the video. He says under certain circumstances, holding someone's head this way can be something officers do. He says the object over Mr. Prude's head is called a spit sock, a tool, Dr. Alexander says, is sometimes used to safeguard officers.
So it is to protect the officers from any biological challenges that that person may have. But it is breathable, and it is not unusual in certain circumstances to put a spit sock over someone's head.
So like I said earlier, Adam, the State Attorney General's office is investigating this, and Alexander says the footage we just watched will play a big role in the result of that, Adam.
To imagine that's the case. Jack, thank you. You can find all our coverage, by the way, including the news conferences and more from the protests over at rochesterfirst.com.
All right, we are going to take a break. Much more news coming up. As we do, this is the scene through our live Sky Eye this evening, and Eric's forecast is coming up. Will it include rain? Find out.
You're watching News 8, the team you can trust. Adam Chodak, Maureen McGuire, Chief Meteorologist Eric Snidel, and Sports Director Thad Brown. This is News 8 at 6. You're watching News 8.
Welcome back. The first female captain in the history of the Irondequoit Police Department is taking her position today.
This marks a pivotal moment in the history of the police department and the town of Irondequoit, as Atia Collins reports.
Leaders say the 3 appointments made here at the Irondequoit Police Department will help diversify the team while also helping the department move forward with their goals. Jessica Franco is achieving a lifelong goal by swearing in as captain of the Irondequoit Police Department, the first female to do so in the history of the town.
This is great in the sense that I'd love to be a role model to others, and especially females who are looking to take that career path into law enforcement. We're definitely going to be able to move forward and move ahead to reach certain goals that we're looking to achieve. Also, bringing the community together and, putting words into action.
Town Supervisor Dave Seeley was there for the historic moment, which he believes will not only help the department, but the community as well.
Well, you want your police department to look like the town it represents, and diversity is something we're striving towards, all forms of diversity.
In total, 2 Irondequoit police officers took the oath today to become captains, Captain Jessica Franco and Captain Mark Jetski. The department last had 2 captains in 2006. Chief Alan Laird was sworn in today as well and says with the demand and restructuring planned for the department, having 2 captains with diversity and experience is needed to push the department forward.
To make our department representative of our community is very important to me. The community-based relationships that we've had have been fantastic. It's time to take all that work that we've done and all those things we've talked about, it's time to put those words into actions and really help rebuild that trust between the community and police.
Now the next step for the department is to utilize these new members of the team to help improve community relations and restructure the department. Reporting in Irondequoit, Atia Collins, News 8.
All right, Atia, thank you. All right, Eric Snidel, did you feel any rain, see any rain in your neck of the woods today?
I'm seeing it right now. Look at this shot from our Charlotte Lighthouse. That's a shelf cloud with some heavy rain moving on by. Let's see when this thing gets into Rochester next.
From the weather team you can trust. Here's Chief Meteorologist Eric Sneidel.
No, you're not looking at Kansas or Oklahoma. This is a good old Irondequoit, New York right now. Live shot from Nick's Sea Breeze, and that is quite a live shot at this point. This is a thunderstorm out over the lake. You are looking at what we call a shelf cloud. It's an ominous looking overhang out ahead of some of that rain-cooled air that is rushing in our general direction. In fact, I'd give this about 2 or 3 minutes. In this particular shot, you're not going to be able to see a whole lot of that anymore, but you can see all of that rainfall just in the background of that shot as that continues to work its way southward. That is what it looks like on radar, and it's so cool to be able to track these in 3D. So this is kind of the radar approach in 3 dimensions of what this is doing out over the lake. A lot of heavy rain there, but it's only skirting the lake shore at this point. So a lot of you, unless you live right on the lake, are not getting rainfall yet. West side of Rochester, though, will be one of the first places to end up getting it. This is all some, I'd say, 10 to 15 minute pop of heavy rainfall crossing over the Orleans and Monroe County line. We'll track this out. So Irondequoit, you end up getting rainfall here shortly, likely within the next few minutes, especially right there along the lake. Webster, you're involved by 6:39. Downtown Rochester, 6:45 still sounds fair. And then we start pushing that off to the east from there. You've got Brighton, Penfield, and Henrietta a little bit after 7 o'clock. Now, after 7 o'clock, there's not going to be a whole lot left over. That's likely the last gasp for a lot of you. We'll go into the day tomorrow with a really nice Thursday, and it's warm again, too. We've got highs in the low 80s tomorrow, mostly sunny conditions. The cold front, the main cold front, will wait until about midnight tomorrow night to finally come through. So you'll get a few spotty showers with that. It'll be breezy tomorrow night. But once that gets out of here, that'll change the game up for us Friday and then into our 3-day weekend, and it will change it toward a much more pleasant direction. The forecast is very quiet for most of our 3-day weekend coming up. Warm water temperatures, by the way. We're still in the 70s. Often a lot of folks kind of think of this as the last chance to get to the lake, and with water temps that warm, it will still be comfortable. 75 on Saturday, you're sunny. 80 on Sunday, you are sunny. Next shot of rainfall could be Labor Day itself. That would be Monday, highs near 80. 30% chance of a shower with that one, but the pattern for the entirety of next week remains more uncertain than usual. The models are still all over the place with this. So I'd expect some changes from Labor Day and beyond. Right now, we'll hedge our bets with that and continue with the threat of some showers. We've got more news and weather after the break.
From the official broadcast home of the Buffalo Bills, here's sports with Sports Director Thad Brown.
The Bills are still dealing with a bundle of injuries as the season grows near. Now, while the list is significant, the concern probably is not. We've got more inside our Bills report. Only a walkthrough today at the stadium, no pads, no helmet. Best news of the day, Josh Norman officially a limited participant in practice. That's an improvement for him. But fellow corner Levi Wallace did not practice. Stephon Diggs also limited. Other than Norman, though, really no reason for concern for any of these guys about week 1. The big question with receivers has been, can they share the targets happily? John Brown went through that situation in Arizona with Larry Fitzgerald and Michael Floyd. The answer is not hard.
Anytime the ball came our way, we took advantage of our opportunities, and that's what it's going to be. And if you want to win, you have to stop being selfish and focus on winning and make the plays when they do come to you.
He's one of my favorite guys, man. Love him. He's all about the team, very unselfish approach, again, which is unique to that. Somewhat unique to that position. And I just really appreciate the dynamic in that room and how everyone's taken a very unselfish approach.
Pittsford Mendon graduate Danny Mendick had one goal going into this shortened MLB season, to make the White Sox opening day roster. Well, he's done that and more, even making a name for himself in Chicago. Thanks to an injury, Mendick got the chance to be an everyday starter. He's hit 3 homers, has 6 ribbies with 22 hits. The White Sox lead the AL Central, likely going to the playoffs. Even though Mendick spent the end of last year already in the bigs, this year's been different. He's been able to learn from the best on a game-to-game basis. And we'll have more with Mendick tonight at 11. More News 8 at 6 after this.
Time now for the News 8 photo album, and this picture comes from our friend Lori Dirks. Stunning capture of a cedar waxwing. Thank you, Lori, for sending us this photo and letting us know exactly what kind of bird it is, because I do not know the cedar waxwing myself. Eric.
Eric Sneidel joining us now. Eric, what's going on out there?
Got some rainfall west side of Rochester, downpours coming on through. There's not a lot of bite with these, but they look scary. The cloud formations out of this will get your attention before we dry out tonight.
That's News 8 at 6. The CBS Evening News is next.
See you at 11.